Hello, beautiful, beautiful souls of the light. It's me, Zoti, from the Light Collective, and I wanted to come talk to you, beautiful people, for a moment to give another message to the people of the light as we are transitioning, ladies and gentlemen, into a very, very important time. This moment in time is crucial. Okay? It is crucial. And I need you to see that, realize that, believe that, and hear me. Okay? All ages have to turn. Cycles have to turn and change out. Okay? Sometimes us as humans, or whatever you call yourself, beings, okay, is what I call myself, a being, okay, but whatever you call yourself, we tend to, here in this realm, in this dimension, because of programming, okay, so whenever I say what I say, believe me, I have compassion for people because I get that there was significant programming done, okay, to intentionally, but we as humans, as people call, usually, I'm just going to use humans, here in this realm, we're very arrogant, and we talk all day long. They literally have a course that we have to take in school, called history. His story, right? So history, right? And they're saying that, listen, they talk about all these different ages and cycles and periods throughout time. And sometimes we can get arrogant to think that, okay, yeah, we it ends with us. Like where we are right now, no. Things have to, again, turn and cycle. Turn and cycle, okay? And that's the moment in time that we are dealing with right now, is a shift. Now, people are calling this thing multiple different things. Shifts, ascensions, a turning of the age, an ending of cycles, so on and so forth. But as I emphasize on my channel, as I emphasize in multiple episodes that I have done already, this is a matter of a return of the divine feminine, okay? As I speak about and I stand on, it's that there has been a massive removal, intentional removal of the feminine, divine femininity, when we're talking about creation, existence, and the like. It's as above, so below, as within, so without. Okay? And so as above, so below, it is what it is. As above, so below, great mother and the great father. Okay? Alpha and Omega being the mother. Okay? This is what I know to be true, okay? Source, as some people call. But see, the intentional removal of the feminine has led us to this moment in time. The denial of the Great Mother, the denial of the feminine energy has led us to this moment in time. And a part of what we had to go through has been a result of the imbalance of that divine, of the mother and the father, the removal of the divine feminine. This is why we see the nature of just the male side of things happening in our reality. Okay. Meanwhile, and when I say that, I mean, war, aggression, greed. Not that just masculines are greedy. Let me, but I'm saying, guys, what I'm saying, I'll use this as an example. Guys, y'all tend to get together and y'all is real competitive. You know what I mean? You guys compete over everything. You can't even, some guys can't even sit down and just, they competing over who gonna finish the hamburger faster. You know what I'm saying? They just compete over everything. And so when it comes to like the area of money, this is why that's what I mean by just that competition. I have to have more than you. Okay? And again, please don't think that my vibration is high. So this is not about a battle of the genders and the sexes here. This is about reality, and this is about the truth. Okay? And there has been a removal of the divine feminine, and that's why we see the calamities that we see all over the place happening around the world. Emphasis on the neglect of women and children. Not to mention melanated women and children. Okay? It's a double oppression as a melanated woman. Okay? Under the old system. Okay? But see how it has been male dominated and male run. That's why a majority of the time when you look at the top of any corporation or any business, it's going to be usually males. This is just the case, you know. Or every single president we had so far, women. Every single president we had, all times, men. And look at the country, you know. And then also look at how women are treated, how children are treated. We have a world that women and children are being mistreated, you know, to the degree that it can no longer be ignored. This is about humanity. This is about humanity. And on a human level, it's unacceptable. And as a person with a soul who is of the divine, who is of the light, you should not sit back and just allow it to occur. I don't care what your gender is. But the removal of the divine feminine energy was done intentionally, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? It was done intentionally. Okay? But the time that we're moving into, oh, it's coming back. It's coming back. It's already here. You know? And the thing about it is that it can't be stopped. This is about ages and cycles and ascension into realms that we as creation was meant to be. Creation was not meant to be in the state. So this cannot continue. This cannot continue. And it's going to take the return of the Great Mother, the return of the divine feminine energy to clean all of this up. And it will be cleaned up. That's the good news, is that it will be cleaned up, for sure. Because the darkness, the kingdom of darkness, you know, there's a lot of confusion out here, you know, when it comes down to, you know, some of these people, okay, who are in these positions, these created fake positions of, you know, authority or status, you know, all these accusations against the various people, and, you know, it's difficult to see who's who, but, you know, all we can go by is what we see, and believe your eyes, because people, I'm hearing a lot of, you know, people are in the same spot when it comes down to a lot of these things, but how we're getting to that spot is different, you know, and so we can't let that distract us. So at the end of the day, what my intention is, what I stand on, as my phone is starting to fall, what I stand on is simply down with the kingdom of darkness. That's what I stand on. Down with the kingdom of darkness. There's no room for any dark, like all of this nefarious activity that these, you know, that's going on around us. Okay, it's gotta stop. It's gotta end. And it took the return. Okay, this moment in time, the return of the divine feminine energy, it took that, because we've been in such the other side of it, the father and the son reality. Now we're going into the mother and the daughter reality. So I need everybody to start bringing back the feminine when we're talking about things, when we're talking about the Most High, when we're talking about the divine. I need us to go ahead and start bringing the feminine back to these things, these subject matters, like by way of how we speak. But let's start by how we speak. So let's stop saying he when we're talking about the Most High and God. You know, I need everybody to really, really get that the world is about to really see how important women are. Yeah. So, you know, because it's like, did anyone think that the Most High Source was going to just sit back and let women just be ignored the way that we have? And listen, this is, again, not about the battle of the genders. So if your mind's going there, you can just go ahead and skip to the next video. because we need to be able to have conversations like this, okay? But imagine being a part of creation, right, as the great mother, right? Like to personify it, you know? And she's just, she's up there, again, as an example to personify this, okay? She's up there, she had just as much to do with creation as the great Father did, right? The divine, so she's just sitting up there and watching everybody just say, praying to him all the time, to the Father all the time. Our Father who art in heaven, nothing about her. Imagine how she's been sitting up there for the last 2,000 years, like, okay, so this is just to personify it, to give you a visual. And she's sitting up there like, oh, okay, so no, ain't nobody gonna say nothing about me, huh? Imagine how that feels. But see, us women, we have to get that we've been feeling that. Our experience in this realm was what it was because they took the feminine out of everything. So now it's to the point where a woman could literally be crying out for help, saying that she's a victim of something, and she's ridiculed. They find every reason under the sun to make her the villain, and to discredit her instead of just hearing her, as if what she's saying is so unbelievable, But did anyone think that this was going to continue? Of course not. Every time a woman sheds a tear, it's being seen and heard right now. Okay? Specifically, the women and the children. It's being heard right now because it's been ignored for so long. So guess who has priority right now as we turn this age? I'm talking about spiritually. Guess who has the ear right now? Everybody does, but I'm just saying who's been ignored, right? Then we could even take that to melanated people, right? Who's been ignored this whole time? Now you have the ear. So it's important, beautiful people, that we wake up to what type of time that we are in right now, that we are cleansing our karma, that we are connecting with the divine, connecting with source, and doing what we need to do to ensure that as this age continues to turn, that we on the right side of things, okay? Because all these things that has been going on, I'm talking about the theft of lands, building cities over the graves of indigenous people. Not everybody came over here from Africa now, okay? Some people were here, okay, already, all right? Funny story, I walked into an auto parts store, right? And this guy, it was a Caucasian, non-melanated individual. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think the whole notion of like this race thing is it's an issue too. But that's a time for another time, a theme for another time. But I go into this auto parts shop, right? And there's this guy who's non-melanated. I go in. I have something similar to what I have on right now. I'm very, very simple how I present. I don't go above and beyond to do. But anyway, I go in there kind of, my headscarf on and my shirt, just something like this. And, he turns around, like I was behind him, I didn't say a word, but, he turned around, looks at me, and he asked me how was my Thanksgiving. This was maybe a day or two after Thanksgiving. And he asked me, how was my Thanksgiving? And I told him, I said, it was, I did spend the day with the family, but, we honor the true history, of Thanksgiving, and we honor the indigenous. And, he was like, oh, are you Indian? And so I just said, I prefer to say the term indigenous, I prefer to use that term, if any term, and he says, oh, mind you, this is a non-melanated person. He was like, oh, my family's Cherokee. And then he says to me after that, he's like, you kind of look Indian. You kind of look Indian a little bit. Imagine a person who is, non-melanated, okay? Non-melanated, okay? And he said to me, I kind of look Indian, but he was like, oh yeah, I'm Cherokee, my family, he was like, you kind of look Indian. Can you see this? And so I just look, and for the sake of not trying to start a fire everywhere I go, I just left it alone. But in my head, it's like, look at these people. So you telling me as a this is the type of weird stuff the programming. And I'm not saying that guy was inherently bad per se, but it was insane what he said. It was insane because what do you mean? What do you mean? I kind of look Indian, but you gonna sit here in my face and tell me that you full blown Cherokee? I'm supposed to just look at you like, oh yeah, okay, right? But you think you're talking to someone who's still programmed? I'm not. Are you kidding me? Like as if your skin complexion, as would have, people are just insane, because we know, like, if we're talking about indigenous people, they intentionally try to make it seem like everybody just came from Africa who has any melanation in their skin, and there was only melanated people in Africa and there was no melanated people anywhere else. Of course there was. Of course there was, all over the place. But see, what they're trying to do is make it, now they're trying to really try to say to a woman like me who looks like me, oh, you kind of look Indian. Listen, I need all the people of the light, okay, who are melanated individuals. Don't let these people do nothing. Don't let these people G you like that, as they say. Don't let them do that, because if I had the time for it, I would have checked him, but I ain't have the time for it that day. But make sure, because what he should have heard me say was, excuse me, that is very, I don't know what you mean by that, but the indigenous people of this land definitely look more like me in complexion than you, okay? And for you to try to be the determining factor of who looks indigenous, not like, okay, first of all, it's beyond how you look. So everything about what he said, and any which way you want to slice it, it didn't make any sense. And we need, as melanated people, we need to really stop doing that. Stop letting them tell you that we all came from Africa, and there's nothing wrong with Africa. Listen, I know my lineage, okay? But that's not what this video is about, okay? But, I know my lineage, and a lot of us came from right here, okay? Some people have indigenous in their blood, okay? And so this is what they don't want you to know, because guess what happens if people who are my complexion, who actually are the real originals and indigenous people, guess what happens when we start to realize that and say, oh, hold up, wait, whoa, where's our land at? Then they want to try to pull out these books. They want to try to pull out these books from whenever they have some guy sitting there behind a desk writing people's names down. Say, okay, well, this is how we know whether you're from here or not. And by the way, we have control over that too. No. So I need you beautiful people to just know that the good news is that there is a return of the divine feminine energy. The great mother will get her acknowledgement, and that's the end of the story. And guess what? When this occurs, as this continues to occur, because it's already occurring, as it continues to occur, we're going to end up right where we were meant to be the whole entire time. Okay? Because this age has had its time. Done deal. Moving on to the next. But we have to know that every time a age turns, a cycle turns, it has to have a little bit of a shaking. There's going to be a little bit of a shaking that comes with it. But as long as you are connected to the divine, you keeping your people close and safe, there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear at all if you're a person of the light, if you have a soul, okay? But the kingdom of darkness and all of the theft of sacred arts and the nature of our history, of how we got here in existence, and what this all is truly about in this projected reality. They've abused all the sacred nature of things. They've abused it for their own selfish benefit, and no more. So beautiful people, just remember that you are so important, that you need to really try your best to tap into this moment right here. Beyond everything that they're trying to tell you to focus on, tap into it yourself, from inside of yourself, and you'll see what's happening around you. And once you see what's happening around you, it's on. These people can't sustain, and they know it. That's why all this stuff all around us right now, all this, like, oh my gosh, wait, what? All this stuff is going on because they know that the time is ticking, okay? It's ticking. So pay attention to your surroundings, love yourself, love others, okay? And stand strong. And let's get ready to see more and more and more of the light. Take care. Be safe. Ashe.